What's up, guys? Welcome back to the TCG Scripts podcast. I'm Oscar, and with the usual guys of Joey and Colin of Team ARG. How's it going, guys?
Hey, guys.
It's going all right.
That's cool. It's cool. So, as usual, everything is brought to you by Happy Little Hug Factory. Make sure to visit them. Link in description below. Some exciting things you can be doing right now over there is pre-ordering the new set, which is Strangers of New Valhalla. Which is $80, and if you want to help make that price a little more affordable, they do have a buy list you can check out if you have extra cards you're looking to get rid of. And again, everything helps support the channel, so make sure to visit them. Link in the description below. As well as patreon.com/tcgscrubs. If you guys like to become supporters of the channel, get little names and a cool intro title. We have another name to add to it. And some cool content that we're doing over there. We don't? Oh. we have some cool...
It's 5 and up.
5 and up, my bad. We have cool content appearing over there, such as deck profile analysis, I guess, of either ones we've ran or ones people submit to us. Some gameplay.
Deck analyses,
Analyses. And
post-game analysis, so after we're done playing games,
or us just messing around. So patreon.com/tcgscrubs if you want to check that out.
And that's available to everyone, including $1 and up. It doesn't matter what tier you're on. You get access to all minimum of 1 video a week, up to 3 videos a week or more if we have random stuff we want to put up there. And obviously the mini podcast, which we record same time we do this podcast, and it goes up and is anywhere from 10 minutes to a half hour or plus,
depends on how much we're talking about certain things.
Yeah. But it goes up the same time as the podcast. So if you're watching this and you're already a patron or you're a new patron and aren't aware, check it out. The other videos usually will be Friday for the deck analysis, and then the post-game analysis, if we have one, will be released the same day as the gameplay that it accompanies.
Yep. And then last little bit of channel stuff is next weekend we won't be recording a podcast, so one won't come out next week. It will be Christmas week, so happy holidays to you guys.
Yeah.
And then Joey will be out for an additional week, but me and Colin will return for the following week's podcast.
We'll see if we can get a guest.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We haven't had one in a while.
Speaking of holidays, you should show him your shirt, Oscar.
Joey got me this shirt. I gotta stand up, man. It's
almost
a joke. I'm going the wrong way. I'm going closer to it too. Joey got me this shirt. It was just because he discovered the song the other day and it got stuck in my head for quite a while. So that was funny.
It's amazing.
But okay, so yeah, that's about all the intro stuff we got. Cool stuff that happened for me and Colin this week. We actually got to go to our LGS and play, which hasn't happened in a while because people haven't been showing up. And it seemed,
including us,
it seemed that the trick to it is either we had to do draft or cluster only format. And the fact that our LGS out of the 2 in Austin that people play at is the only one getting promos right now was the other trick, which we got loaded up. With some, I was going to grab them, and I didn't grab them. My backpack's too far for me. But we got December promos, which was the Rachel's and the, what's the other card? The Black-White.
Forbidden Arts.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about those. The Rachel's super pretty, and I always liked Forbidden Arts as a card. I know there's a better version of it, technically, but Forbidden Arts was fun because it was Black-White, so I had thrown it in my IMO deck back when we had dual stones, just because why not? But... because that'll rotate with rotation. So, it's a cool card to have.
Anyways, it was fun. Colin ran machines and took the whole thing.
I didn't lose a single game.
He even beat Hansa machines.
With Arthur machines.
And I was pretty excited because our LGS, she's clearing out all her inventory, so she'll have to inventory it and do her taxes on that stuff. She can just get rid of it before the end of the new year. So we're getting super discounts on booster boxes and stuff, which is pretty neat.
Yeah,
everybody's jealous right now.
We got a time spinning witch box where we pulled an Imul, which was awesome. And then so one of the people at our locals also got a time spinning witch box and also pulled an Imul.
Yeah,
which was pretty hilarious. And also got a crap ton of time spinning witch booster packs and some WOM booster packs.
Yeah, gotta make sure it was 20 packs for $30.
Yeah, and I got some random stuff because I was like, because we're literally just slowly stockpiling dead card game starter decks. After the card game dies out, we'll buy up the starter decks for super cheap, and so she had some more. So Not that I'm not saying all these are dying. I'm just saying they were cheaper than Force of Will. But I got some Vanguard starter decks for us to try out. I've never played that. I got Dragoborn starter deck to try out.
That's actually dead.
And yeah, that one's actually dead. And what was the other?
Did you get the $2 one that I was gonna grab that I didn't at the end?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's not dead. It's still around. But I got another Caster Chronicles Magical Girl 7 starter deck, which is personally one of my favorite starter decks out of any card game ever. That was a perfect starter deck on every facet. So I'm glad I got another one of those. And we're probably gonna go. If it's still there, I might get a Dragon Ball. Is it Z or Super?
Dragon Ball Super.
Z.
Super.
Or is it Super,
Super.
starter deck as well?
Yeah. Okay.
Which,
So
I'm not saying it's dying, but just saying it's cheaper than Force of Will.
It's dead in parts of Austin. Like Mothership, which was holding the biggest events, actually has nobody showing up anymore. But they have the bundles. Like it's a box that has like what 6 starter decks in it.
6
for $10. And we're like, whoa, we should just grab one of these to play with it just for the hell of it. And then she's for people who are in Dallas who watch this, who we've made friends with. If you guys happen to come out here, she's doing this through up to the new year, so you guys can show up throughout. And she's pulling more product off her shelves just to throw onto this table for discounts, and it's pretty cool stuff.
That's super awesome. Yeah, it's pretty bad for people who want to save money, but
yeah, I know. I was sitting there like, oh man, look, this is only $2. Oh, I'm like grabbing it. I'm like, okay, I need to take it easy. I'm putting some stuff.
Yeah, no, I was looking through the box, and I found, because Oscar and I had talked about a while back. Oh, they're coming out with a HeroClix, I believe it was, for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh, that looks cool. We don't play HeroClix or anything. Just thought it looked cool because he loves TMNT.
Yeah,
and it was in the box. I was like, Oscar, look, they have it. I was out, and he's like. He looked. He was like, "Don't tell me how much it is," and I just held up my hand like this, and he was like,
I was already
"No, don't tell me."
Paying $50 and a bunch of stuff I grabbed. And he's already told me it's fine. I was like, "No, I can't. I just can't do it."
If it's still, I can guarantee if it's still there next time Oscar's in there, he won't be able to control himself.
Probably. I'll probably get that the Magical Girls, whatever band one.
Oh, Magical 7.
Yeah,
it's good, guys. If you guys haven't played Casters, if you ever just want to play Casters for funsies, and you can find that deck, Magical 7, just the art and the card quality with the texturing alone is like on point, better than most of Force of Will stuff for some reason. Don't know why, don't know what printer they used at that time. But also the deck itself as a standalone thing is one of the coolest, like pretty strong like standalone starter decks ever. But also, like, the synergy of how everything works together is just, like, so satisfying. It's just, I love it. But the thing was, there's a lot of, like, 1-ofs or maybe 2-ofs in that deck. And I never got another one because I forgot how much it cost originally. But now that it was on sale, I was like, oh, nice. Oh, in case I get back into Casters again.
Yeah. Oh, and she had all the starter decks from New Valhalla for $10 a piece.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
And then we went there to go get them, and we found out somebody already put them on hold to pick them up later. And we're like, woohoo! Because they're not here playing with us right now. And then I happened to find a box under the table that I didn't know was there, and I opened it and it had like one more starter deck. And so we were able to give it to one of the guys who didn't have any of them yet.
Yeah.
It was cool, so he started playing Cluster with us. But yeah, no, it was a pretty cool day. I enjoyed it. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was pretty. I really enjoyed playing Cluster overall.
Yeah.
I'm really liking Machines. I knew I would like it. Like, if you guys watch our old spoilers going into that set, I knew I would like Machines, but I just never got around to it, and especially after seeing the competitive side and seeing the Machines aren't necessarily doing well, but inside of Cluster they do really well. And I still ran Arthur just because I really like his Master Rune, but though I realized as I was playing, his Master Rune is kind of completely pointless if you're running Lancelot, because Lancelot is just better. If you're running the deck right, you have enough counters to fire off Lancelot's 10 counter, destroy the field. And Lancelot costs 3. Arthur's Master Rune is 3, and you split their field in half, and then you get rid of half of it. So, I mean, yeah, I guess technically that one could get rid of field cards and stuff, but it's just, as much as I love that card, I love that Master Rune. It's just super fun and flavorful and all that stuff. I could see why you don't run Arthur for his Master Rune, because the Master Rune is pretty much irrelevant when you're running. I run the playset of Lancelot in it, which served me pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I'm excited to see where the Cluster goes, especially with the new set coming out, and see how things end up turning out. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be more interesting. I feel like a couple of the players just like grabbing deck lists from Worlds and playing with them.
Probably.
Yeah. So it'll be more interesting because there won't be anything to go off of. But some other things we want to talk about was the Q&A recap real quick, because there's something Colin wanted to discuss, I guess, about something that was mentioned in there. So something that was mentioned in there, for those of you who were VIPs, you should have already received them. But the Willpower Rewards cards were already being shipped out. Colin got his on Saturday. And
yeah, which they're really smart on the shipping side this time around. Instead of just sending them airmail or whatever, they actually send it through FedEx, and you had to he freaking came to my house in the freaking 9 in the morning, but whatever. But came in and you had to actually sign for the package. So now people can't be like, I didn't receive it. Derp derp. They have like a record of it, which is smart. Whoever like finally figured that out.
What costs more to do that? So.
It costs more, but probably not nearly as much as doing all the correspondence and emails and paying someone to respond to everyone and then reprinting rewards and remailing them and stuff like that. It's probably cheaper, cleaner, and easier. And they did expedited rush mail, so it got here real quick. And as such, because of the guarantee, it probably gets to almost everyone around the exact same time. So you don't have these stupid posts on Facebook over and over again for the next year. I'm pretty sure literally a couple weeks ago there were still posts of like, hey, I still didn't get my willpower rewards from last year. It's like, that's on you, man. That was on you a week after you didn't receive. But we don't get these posts of people wondering.
Show up now, like, I sent my rulers in to be fixed. I never got them back.
Yeah, no, it's like, it's people. But this way, I think cleans up the whole process. They don't have to worry about it. Don't have to worry about correspondence or reshipping, reprinting, or anything like that. So I really like that they did that.
So something I wanted to talk about which was mentioned in the Q&A is Jeff. Joey's been quiet for a while.
I'm sorry. I don't really have a lot to bring into the conversation, so I'm just listening to where you guys are going.
He's like, I'm waiting for when we went to the GP and Fuzz where I really, really shine.
Pretty much, but I mean...
Study up his list. So anyways, in the Q&A, Jeff had said for all the rewards revealed, we'd get 2 of each plus a VIP reward. Ends up being Brunhild was the VIP reward. She's a numbered ruler. And then the other 4, we got 2 of each. So it's very, very interesting. Now me and Colin have to figure out who gets the numbered card. We're going to play for it and determine. We'll record that game.
We'll record us, but that way there's a witness, at least however many people watch that game as witnesses.
We'll have Joey watching a live stream, so he can be like, wait, guys, you misplayed this, so we can make sure it's 100% accurate.
That sounds good to me.
But anyways, so VIP you guys should be getting them already. I don't know when everybody else is going to be getting them. And so it's just those cards. And then if you remember, it was advertised we'll get 12 cards. And in the past, we've gotten like 10 Ubers of like, say, Star Deck rulers or whatever, or the rulers for the set, whatever. And then 2 alt art cards and then the save VIP card, but it didn't end up that way this year, and it's this way. And also they've announced that in December, because they're ending the willpower system, that on the 31st when it ends, they'll send everybody rewards again. And they said VIP who already had it this past season, who got these kits that are coming today, will get those automatically. If you're VIP and you've been scanning anyways, because we didn't know this information yet, you'll get additional rewards shipped to you. Let's hope that comes out true as well. But there's also something else that he mentioned during the Q&A, is that he said, I don't think they're going to be alt-art rulers. I'm not sure what they're going to be. So, which is this is where Colin wants to chime in. Is where Colin really wants to start discussing things, because, one, he was looking for an alt-art Arthur. I know that. I think some people were also assuming that there would be other alt-arts. Like, I think I saw a post where someone goes, oh, very smart Force rule. These first 5 rulers are all women. Bet you the last 5 will be all men. I'm like... I commented, I was like, well, let's calm down. Like, he doesn't know they're even going to be the rulers here. But, so Colin, you wanted to discuss some things. You're pretty upset with this.
Yeah, so I'll preface ahead of time, because I know what the response to this will be. I know it's free stuff, and they're like, well, you should be just happy you're getting anything. So I'm going to start off with this real quick analogy, as you heard Oscar say. So... I don't know if they changed it on the website or not yet, but up until like a little bit ago, for sure the website still said willpower rewards. If you're, VIP or whatever, you will get 12 cards plus the VIP card. So 13 total. And I can't guarantee this because I haven't had a chance to go through all of my recaps to see when it was or anything like that. I could have sworn, and this, I'm not saying anything to Jeff, I'm saying this is probably the company miscommunicating, but Jeff had said during one of the live streams that it was going to be 10 alt-arts of the rulers, which maybe you could construe as 10 alt-arts because the rulers are double-sided, which would equal 5 rulers, in which case, fuck you. Not you, Jeff. You're fine. But, so I'm going to start with this analogy. So, people are like, oh, you're still getting free stuff. So imagine you're like going and buying a cereal box. Oh, I'm going to need some cereal. And the cereal box is like, if you get this special golden box top, you win $1,000. And you're like, woo. And you open it and you get the thing. You're like, oh, I won $1,000. Sweet. I get some free money. And you go and turn it in and they're like, awesome. Here's $500. And you're like, what? But it says 1,000. And everyone's like, why are you complaining? You're still getting free money. And it's like, but it's false advertising. I specifically bought an extra box of cereal to try and get into that competition. In this case, I specifically bought extra booster packs, an extra box. I specifically, on the secondary market, bought extra QR codes. I specifically, with my friends, pooled in to buy extra cereal boxes or so we could split the money. I pooled in with my friends to get extra QR codes to split the rulers. It's that if this was communicated at the get-go of, hey, we're commissioning this right now, so the company knows months and months ago exactly what they're doing because they had to commission the art. It wasn't just switching stuff to Ubers. They had to actually pay people ahead of time. So they knew ahead of time it was going to be 5 rulers, one of which is the VIP, which I'll get to in a sec. But so why not communicate with us before we go and start buying extra stuff? I mean, I know why, because then they know probably that it spikes a little bit when you get close to that VIP season when everything's supposed to be turned in. There's probably a spike in the amount of packs or something that's sold, I bet you, or something like that. But just communicate that with us so we know and we aren't just like hit from the side. In this case, we went from like one of the most, for me personally, the most hyped willpower rewards that I've ever been for. Like instead of just Ubers, we're getting these cool art arts of all 10 rulers. I was like, that's freaking genius. Because the other willpower rewards just devalue the coolness of Ubers and stuff like that. And this is a smart way to, that's it? To VIPs get double the amount. So you know how willpower rewards always go down in value because of how many people get them and it floods the secondary market? What if we times that by 2 so there's no like value to actually getting the willpower reward and stuff like that? So, and then all of a sudden I get in the mail and I open the envelope and Brunhild has a number on it. I'm like, what? What's different about Brunhild? It's just another ruler, and they arbitrarily just slapped a number on it to satisfy people who are a VIP and say, see, there was a VIP reward. It's like, it feels so arbitrary that there's just a number slapped on. There's nothing special about her. She's not an alt color or Uber compared to the others. She's alt art like the others. She just has a golden number randomly on her. She's just part of the same 10 originals. And
so on that real quick though, it's like you got to keep in mind though, only VIPs are probably going to get that.
That's stupid.
Nobody else will ever get a Brunhild. You know
what's special about that? What's special about Brunhild though? Why her specifically?
I get what he's saying, but I'm also saying at least it'll be exclusive to VIPs only.
No, because that's dumb for everyone who was getting to the VIP, who got to rank A, thinking that they would get Brunhild. And that's all they wanted and cared about, in the same way that all I wanted and cared about was getting an Arthur ruler. And now they're like, oh, I had to get to a VIP? That would have been nice to know. Maybe I would have showed out extra money on the secondary market for QR codes or something like that. Now I got to pay a shiz ton of money for Brunhild just super arbitrarily. Like, I can't think of a reason why she's the one with the numbers other than maybe she's a fan favorite. But I feel like Isis is the fan favorite. And as far as competitive-wise, Chimibi is the favorite for competitive nature as far as these 10. So, like, Brunhild just feels so random. It's not the most competitive, and I feel like Isis is the bigger fan favorite.
Well,
and it's not like, here's Brunhild in the normal, and then here's a Brunhild that's the altar and Uber or something cool like that. It's just got a number on it.
She was the first one spoiled, right?
Yes.
That's
her
the only
front
reason.
side, I think, was the first one spoiled.
No, they spoiled both, but... Like, they spoiled front and back on all the rulers, right?
No. They were doing one side at a time for a while.
Were they Oscar?
Yeah. Colin's got it.
Okay. I don't know.
We saw, like, one side of all of them. Or we saw, like, one side of 3 of them. which we didn't know which side it was. And then all of a sudden there was one that was leaked where it's one side of the front side. And then we got the one for Isis, which is the front side of her. And then all of a sudden all the images were posted. And like we never saw both sides of Brunhild. We only ever saw one side of her, and that was from day one.
You're right. I do remember. Because I remember we didn't know what Fushi was going to do, I think. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's the only reason I can think of. I mean, I'm kind of on Colin's side.
Yeah, and it's because you like who's being satisfied by this? Like, if you're VIP and you're not like me and Oscar, where we pulled in our QR codes, are you happy you just randomly got 2 copies of a ruler and that's what you saved up all this time for to get to rank S? All of those QR codes, all those booster boxes to get 2 of a card, which guarantees that these cards you got are going to be some of the most least valuable cards in the set, especially if it's Loki, which is not a good ruler, and also meh alt art compared to the original. I like the original artist a lot, so and now you got 2 of it, so you know how like Green Dragon is $2. Well, good luck with these guys. So I don't know, and all of this information of how many that we're actually getting, and the fact that they're doubles and all that stuff, like how many we're getting is information we got like leaked in the past week, wasn't actually communicated to us. And then the fact that we're getting doubles and all that stuff that Oscar mentioned was told to us like, what, 10 hours before it arrived in the mail on the doorstep. So if you weren't on the live stream, you didn't even know this was happening until you opened the envelope and just pretty much got straight up blindsided. And so, yeah, that's my little rant. I think this is super dumb, and I hope they improve this process going forward, but this really soured me to the willpower reward system or any system they have going forward, because what's mine, unless they properly communicate rewards next time, I'm going to be super wary about actually going out of my way to get, QR codes and stuff like that. Or pooling it in with Oscar, I'll just do my own account. There's no reason to, if the top reward is just, hey, you'll just get 2 copies of this. Well, that's the same as me and Oscar having a separate account anyway, so it didn't matter at the end.
Yeah. It did suck. I wasn't as upset. I'm probably on more of the board of people who are like, well, I mean, we got something, I guess. We'll see. Because we're not just something. We're getting something plus something in December. They at least recognize, like, yeah, we're not satisfied with this. You know, like, 1, we'll double it. 2, hey, the thing in December, just give it to them too. They'll get it automatically if they're VIP.
Yeah,
and if they scanned more, give them some more. That's fine. So we're getting, like, the guaranteed December plus an additional stack from December.
Well, real quick on your point, it's easy to say that, but we're also not part of the people that maybe, because there are people that spend a lot of money maybe buying QR codes specifically, or just going to the LGS to support the LGS and grabbing a booster box, getting extra 36 codes to put them over that spot. Like, people who actually spent money without knowing this, those are the ones who are probably like, I'm thinking of more so. But yeah, no, it's nice that they're doing the extra stuff.
At least they got some cards with it, right? They got some Force of Will cards they can play with. Like, come on. Oh, no, they went and bought more product. Oh, they got cards at least. That extra code card in the back, that's a bonus.
It's not a bonus if it's like... If you go and it's like...
He's trying. He's trying to find it.
No, I'm going back to the cereal box analogy of, like, collect 20 boxes for a sweatshirt. And you're like, okay, and you get the 20 go buy 20 cereal boxes, and like, all right, here's your T-shirt. It's like, what? You still probably went out of your way to buy more cereal boxes. I did that as a kid. When I was collecting Spider-Man cereal boxes, I bought more cereal. I had my parents would get me more cereal than we would normally because it's a collector's thing. Like, cool. It's part of the program.
Cereal. That you got more cereal out of that. I still don't see your argument. Cool, Colin. You got a crap ton of cereal now. Congrats.
No, you're picking apart what's not a great analogy, but it's not going to all great cards. Majority of the cards are probably not worth the $3.50 a pack you pay, depending on the set you're getting. Considering ever sold out of NDR and TSW, odds are you're not getting your price per pack that you're paying to support your LGS anyways. So you're not actually getting great cards unless you got super lucky.
I mean, the fact that there's no value in a pack and you go buy a pack happens in like every card game. I can go and buy 3 packs of Force of Will right now from the store because I'm like, I feel like I'm going to gamble. I'm going to try to pull a really good card. Pulled nothing. No. $3.50 wasted.
All right, you missed the point of the analogy then. You're not you're straight up not buying a pack. You have no desire to buy a pack.
Listen,
but you go into the app, you're 10 short of rank A or rank S. So you go and you buy 10 packs that you did not want to buy. You already have a place at all the cards, but you don't want to go on the secondary market for QR codes. That's a pain in the ass. So might as well just get 10 cards, drop $20 or whatever, however your local store does deals and stuff like that. And now you got your QR codes and you got some cards to throw at your locals to help players or whatever. But you didn't want to actually do that. But now you got into rank S. For 12 cards plus VIP, that was promised, and now you're straight up not getting it. That's called false advertising, and it's literally, yeah, you can pick a part of, yeah, you're getting free money. You still won the contest. You're still getting $500, and it's like, but it's $1,000. Yes, you could still, I'm $500. I'm still happy about that. It's still better than $0. But it doesn't change the fact that they said something and straight up lied about it, because the minute that they commissioned 5 artists and not 10 artists and kept their website saying 12 rewards plus VIP, that entire time they were straight up lying to everyone. And so that's the problem I have, is more of the ethical side of it.
I just see it as like, is it unfortunate that this happened? Yes. Should they have communicated better? Yes. Did Jeff not have full communication maybe from the company? Well, yeah, he did make
it sounds like nothing about this is Jeff. It sounds like it's all the company not communicating.
Yeah,
and that's my biggest issue. So when it comes down to
it, yes, I would have preferred better communication, but I'm not going to cry about it like you and everybody else who's like, no, I'm not crying. I bought perks and I didn't. No, you got cards, and at the end of the day, I don't care. You can say whatever you want, Colin. It doesn't matter anymore. Just stop.
Oscar, I can guarantee.
At the end of the day, everybody got cards out of this, and that's all that matters. You got your Force of Will cards. You got a bonus code card in the back. I don't care anything you have to say further, Colin. You're not going to change your mind. It's done.
If I spent $50 on secondary market on QR codes, and my cards are now worth grand total $6 because of how flooded the market is now with them, I'm upset at the false advertising. And the fact is that if people weren't whining about Sherry the entire time and people were making fun of them for whining, I can guarantee if it was not for the community getting on that, Sherry would have not been banned. I think even if it was dominating the GPs, I don't think it would have been banned if there wasn't that outcry from the community. If we don't call this out each time, because Force of Will is literally known as being the worst at communication. They literally had to hire someone, which I think was a good idea, but they had to hire someone just to help them say words to us. Like the simplest thing, like we had that conversation today at our locals, how they only advertise stuff on Facebook. But so many people don't use Facebook. It's like Force Will has a Twitter. They have a Discord. They have a website, but they don't put anything anywhere outside of Facebook, maybe. And this, they didn't put anywhere outside of the live stream a couple hours before it was put out. If we don't come out and call them out for this bad communication and this straight up lying to people, they're just going to keep doing it because there's no one who cares about it. And they're going to just be chill about it instead of actually, I don't know, hiring someone who knows how to work the internet. Just hire an intern who knows how to copy and paste an article that they posted to Facebook onto their website and then paste that link onto Twitter and share it. Takes in all 3 seconds. You do it all the time, Oscar. For us, we have better communication with our subscribers than Force of Will does as a company. How hard is it for them to communicate these? They hire those 5 artists. All right, update your article. Hey, there's going to be 5 rulers, one of which is going to be the VIP. So guys, get excited. If you're in VIP, you get 2 copies of each ruler instead of just 1 this time around. And it's going to be all the female rulers. And everyone will be like, oh, that's an interesting idea. And some people will be like, oh, I don't like that. And we'll have that sort of debate. And some people will be like, I'm not going to buy codes. And other people will be like, you know what? I'll get more codes just because I want that Brunhild. That's my favorite one. I want to make sure I get that rather than just stopping at rank A like I originally was going to do. Communication is the key. And I say, if I were just to brush this off or have a one-liner in this podcast about it, no one's going to notice that. If someone just does one post in the US group and moves on, no one's going to care. The company's not going to notice. But if a bunch of people say something, then the company next time, they're going to be like, well, that was super annoying. That Colin guy is annoying as fuck. Let's make sure that he doesn't go on one of those stupid little tangents again and just copy and paste a goddamn article into the Facebook and stuff. That's all I'm saying. This is a silly mistake that should never happen. That is, for me, opening that FedEx package was probably the most disappointing thing I've ever done. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but I was legitimately pretty sad when I opened that and realized it was just those 5 rulers because I was looking forward to Arthur since this announcement. Because
Colin didn't see the Q&A and he didn't see my Q&A recap, so he had no idea what he was going to come into when opening that.
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead and move on. But if you think Colin's done ranting, no. The next thing, I think I forgot to put in the Q&A recap. I forgot.
Don't worry about it.
His phone was ringing. I think I forgot to put this in the Q&A recap. When I saw this, I was like, I don't remember talking about this, but Uber's going forward. When somebody asked, will there be Ubers in the next set, Strangers of Valhalla, Jeff said no Ubers in V2.
What?
As far as he's been told, the printer, which we moved to for better cardstock since we left Rhea Cluster, which it is nicer cardstock, is unable to print Ubers. But they could possibly create some other types of cards, some cool like the way the secret rares were. So there could be alternatives going forward. He is going to go see the print center people, whoever the print people they're using, to see what new alternatives they can use, to see what they can start putting into our boxes or putting up for rewards going forward, which is also in December, because they don't know what they're going to send out yet when this willpower system ends. Whatever that next set of cards are sending us, they're going to try something new, it looks like. Which some examples he did give before you jump into it, I know we'll talk, was plastic cards, different materials, and different foiling processes. Shattered foils would be cool, which we've seen in other card games. But one last thing I want to point out before Colin jumps all over the place.
I want to hear Joey's opinion on this too.
Yeah, GPs are taking place already. We had WGBQ Orlando take place this weekend.
Yep.
Jeff did apologize for some miscommunication, some information he had received incorrectly, where he thought we were getting away from the gold Ubers for top 8 into acrylic cards. And I'm sitting here like, well, we're still going with Uber cards for top pricing. Who's printing these if the print center can't make them? And also, I don't know what they did to the Uber cards. I'm sharing the images with the guys right now. But the images, color is inverse, it looks like. It goes from black and white to inverse black and white and printed on gold Uber, it looks like. But it's very weird looking. Did you see that?
Real quick. You're telling me they can do that, but can't do just grayscale Ubers? You're telling me they can go gold to inverse gold on a texture thing that looks like a gold Uber, but they can't just go to Photoshop and press image grayscale?
Well, it's not really a grayscale though.
That's what an Uber is
No.
It's slightly, they alter the colors more so than grayscale to help them contrast a bit, but the grayscale with a bit of color flare inside of it. But that's, at the end of the day, that's all. That's what I was about to say when you said they can't print Ubers. I don't know what technique they might have been doing before that he's talking about that they can't do, but just give me a full art texture that's grayscale with the color. That's all I care about with the Uber. That was the cool, unique thing that Force Will does was, hey, this card is grayscale now with some color in it, and it's forward in texture. That's all I want. I don't know if he's talking about that weird sheen, which, if we're being honest, I don't like that weird sheen because it washes out the text, so you can't read the text.
The glittery effect.
Yeah, that weird glitter effect. That's fine. Get rid of that. Just keep doing Ubers. Just make them black and white with the color like we always do on Photoshop. That every fan can do that, and just to have a fan do that if you're afraid of commissioning someone to do that, and just copy paste that textured full art card like you normally do. If you want to make it unique, since you can't do that, maybe change the texturing a bit instead of straight lines. Do zigzag lines in different parts and stuff like that, so it's more unique or something like that. Or add a textured lines that outline what the Force Will stamp used to be on full arts. That's sort of a callback or something. Do something cool like that. But the grayscale grayscale is so cool, and I always have loved that. And it was unique to Force Will. And everyone who looks at the game and sees someone using the Uber always points it out and how cool that is. And if we go to generic full arts or generic something else that is hard to tell on first glance what it is, I'll be super disappointed.
Yeah.
Also, I'm glad that we found a nice printer, but golly, they must be a new printer company because they can't do a lot.
He's still in Japan, somewhere that Jeff's able to go visit it. He has traveled to another city, but he said he's going to go visit them soon, see what they're capable of.
I mean, I don't agree with you, Con. I don't think it's as easy as just grayscaling stuff. Like,
what's different?
I don't know. It's not like.
Do you know Oscar's the print master here? Actually, we should.
It's not that I feel they just grayscale everything. It's that I feel like they like almost, I don't know. I have no idea what they do. I don't think it's easy as just grayscaling.
Well, that's the point I was getting. Whatever else they do, I don't care about. Just grayscale it and give us a 4.
I feel like that would look so ugly. Like if they did it wrong.
I think they are just grayscaling it. They're just,
do think so?
Yeah, and if they're doing anything, and Colin had acknowledged this when you said that if they do, they may contrast some things. So maybe like going grayscale, all of a sudden Ice's hair like blends in with the pyramid in the background. Like, well, just make the pyramid slightly off different gray than her hair or something like that. Like, yeah, they might be doing stuff like that, but it probably is. Just
they do. Process. I'm pretty sure they use a different foiling technique for it, and that's why we get that washed out look we usually get with Ubers. I don't care about the foiling technique. If that's what they're talking about, just use a normal foiling technique, or do some sort of different tinted foil. So it's this grayscale contrasted with a color foil on the background. That could look cool.
Actually,
work within.
I wouldn't mind is since Jeff has to go see new techniques and foiling processes was a new possibility. Is if so the ruler side is usually just grayed out, just gray, nothing special. You flip it over to J ruler side and it has a sparkle to it. If it remained grayscale with a new like foiling pattern, like I think Card Fight Vanguard or is it Buddy Fight, one of the two has this really cool shatter effect that's really neat looking. Like it's the reason why I always like their cards. Like do something cool like that in the back, like something unique, and then throw them back into some boxes randomly, and that's our thing.
A good shatter effect. There you can get a cheap looking shatter effect, so you gotta make sure it's a good looking one. It's a fine line depending on the type of shatter you do, but that could potentially look. Or if you did a shatter effect and have a texture on it that matches the shatter lines that are on the background, oh, that'd be so hot.
Now we don't normally want to do back-to-back podcasts. We're constantly complaining about stuff, but obviously it was warranted this week, and hopefully next time we're talking about some cool positive stuff. But I think one thing that Joey wants to go ahead and get to is the WGPQ. He's been going over those lists. He's super excited, especially for the deck that won. I closed it all out, but I have it right here. So for those curious, some numbers attendance-wise with 47 players. We had 14 Time Spinning Witch, 8 Chamimi, 5 Hanzo, 5 Kirik, 3 Lucifer, 2 Ayu, and 2 Aimal, and then the one others are Gil, Scarlet, Brunhild, Tigress, Shayla, Loki, Adam, and Arcana of War, which is awesome.
God, I was rooting for that guy so hard.
I'll have all this on the website at tcgscrubs.com. I was too. I was hoping that Arcana would make something near top. And making top 8 were 3 Kirik, 3 Witches, a Chamimi, and a Hanzo. And then Hanzo ended up what was taking it. So for those concerned, it was Witch. I know it took 3 spots in the top 8, but it didn't make top 2 at least.
No, that's a good spread overall, both as the attendance spread as far as overall rulers and the top 8 ruler spread. I think that's a pretty healthy format overall. There's nothing that's dominating. The percentage of Time Spinning Witch in the top 8 versus Time Spinning Witch showing in there, obviously there's a big discrepancy, so that's good. It's not an instant win for Time Spinning Witch. It got filtered out hardcore. And what was the other 3 of in the top 8?
Kirik, which was 3 out of 5 Kiriks made it.
Yeah, that's I'll get to that in a sec when we get to it, but because I know Joey has some stuff to say.
Yeah. So Joey, I know, was excited with the Hanzo deck, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at most of these decks and I was like, okay, Kirik's got some new stuff. Time Spinning Witch was playing with some Dino Riders, which I thought was interesting. But Ryan Miles' quick cast Hanzo list was so fucking cool. Like when I saw it, and when I saw Kotaro, CL, Vile, like pretty much all of his resonators are quick cast, which means he actually gets to play like on the opponent's turn, and I think Oscar was saying he was also like playing stuff during his upkeep and stuff, which I really want to like. Unfortunately, Oscar was saying there was no streams, but there were like VODs, or there's random streams popping up.
Right. What it was there's no official stream for the game at all at the end of the day, but there was a couple rounds either near the end of day 1 where I think it's judges or some players are putting their phones on tripod. I'm not sure what it was, but there's some randomly streamed straight to Facebook games. If we can get them off of that'd be cool.
Right, exactly. That's what I was going to ask. Like, if anyone was saved or whether they'd be saved.
We'll ask around if we can post them on the channel so people can watch. And then, the finals was actually one of the games that was shared, which was Ryan Miles playing. His Hanzo
like the idea of the deck is so cool. Some of the really cool stuff that I really liked, obviously all of his resonators except for the fairies were quick cast, which is super clever, I think. A lot of the things produce mana when they drop, so like you can chain stuff, like you can play a 3-cost CL and then play Ruin Story for free off of her. You can buff her with Winds of Vitality if she's coming in as a blocker or something, which actually gives her like, I think, an extra like 800 attack and defense. So like she can actually probably like block some good stuff there. I haven't really looked at the ins and outs of the deck, and there's probably a lot that I'm missing, but it's just such a cool concept. It was something I was thinking of running, or like thinking about, because my thing is like, if you just play stuff like on Time Spinning Witch's turn, like it could be hard for her to like try and get that lock going. The deck is playing Viola's 2, and it's just super cool. He is running the white rune card that draws him a card and gains 800 life, which I thought was really interesting. But I think that's just because all the runes add up to a 10. So I think that was just like, instead of playing something like Yokai Festival, which is what I think would be kind of cool in this deck, he's playing something where he can utilize all 5 of those slots. And then obviously that white card he only is able to play by playing Kotaro or CL, which is really interesting because those are the ones that get him the white mana. So yeah, just super cool, like such a cool list. I'm honestly really impressed by, like, it really comes together pretty well. Yeah.
It sounds really cool. I like the idea of it, because that was something I had always thought was a cool idea. Back with Aimu and her quick cast list, I thought was super fun. Just constantly playing stuff on your turn and your opponent's turn. You're just constantly in the game playing. And it's not just playing in the sense of you're just countering your opponent's spells and stuff like that. It's just you're playing your turn like normal. If most of the stuff in your deck has quick cast, then turn order and phases don't matter as much to you. Just do it whenever is best efficient for your deck to play certain cards and stuff like that. And I was wondering when Seal would come back into play. I thought that was a decent card that produced 2 will, so basically made it a 1 cost. And because it could produce, that I was able to ramp into certain things of different colors, I believe. I forget exactly what.
Yeah, it's 2 will in any combination of colors.
Any color, yeah. So because it's a solid green, you're able to put it in this monocolor format. I think is what made that card a lot more viable than it did pre-rotation with dual stones and all that. But I like the life gain card. You had mentioned that real quick, but it's just such a good card for 1 cost. It gives you that 800 life cushion, so it gives you some breathing room, especially if you're going against an aggro deck or something like that. You're able to allow things to happen if you're waiting to pull certain cards, especially if he's comboing things like you said, like playing Seal and then playing Rune Story, for example. You want to have both those cards in your hand, so you might want to do some digging, and so that gives you the life cushion to take some damage if needed, and also obviously the draw power. Draw power is always good. Like I always say, if you have a 1 cost draw card, that by definition is already good on its own. Anything after that is fluff, is extra nice stuff. And the fact that 1 cost is also quick cast is just super good. So I like that, and I assume because it's green, it makes it a lot easier for him to play around stuff like Ferris Spell, which is the obvious huge counter to that deck. But if you're running green, you're running Ferris Spell among other things, so it doesn't matter as much to you.
I also really like, especially the thing I thought was super clever is like from like a meta perspective. This deck really deals well with like, it looks like it deals well versus Time Spinning Witch, because like you're playing things on their turn and stuff. It's very aggro, so it's super good that way. I think versus Keurig, you can flash in stuff and do really good blocks. From what it looked like, and I also like how versus Chamimi, you get Hanzo's Master Rune, so like you can counter stuff like if they try and do their forest meditation, that's basically off the table, because it's a super, like, you cancel it and they can't draw their 3 cards, but you get to use your forest meditation. Then if you flip Hanzo, you get to do it again. So yeah, there's so much good stuff about it when I was looking, especially like I feel like it's almost designed to beat what's in the meta now.
Yeah.
Especially I like how it beats out Chamimi with that and Black Tears, which is in the main board, and then yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah. Go ahead, Austin.
No, I was saying, I didn't really have a chance to really look at all these lists, so I didn't have too much opinion on it, but It's a cool event.
Yeah. No, I that was cool, and it was. I think you had said he never played against Jamimi, but obviously he encountered Time Spinning Witch at some point, so this was able to bird through that, which is cool. And it obviously probably does that through the fact that it does have passive will production inside of the deck. So even if they do get off time distortion and stuff like that, if he's played the deck correctly, he doesn't have to worry too much about that. He's able to play around that, among other things, I'm sure, including probably Lorite and all that stuff. So obviously, like you said, there was no stream, so I didn't watch the stream where he did play. So I'll have to go watch it to see exactly what happened. But no, it's pretty cool to have Hanzo up there, which was strong, I think, in Cluster, and people thought it might be good in New Frontiers, but probably won't be good, or we figured wouldn't be good till this new set or got more support. But it looks like it has the utilities to work on its own right now.
Yeah. So Colin, do you still think Time Spinning Witch is like a big issue, and should get the ban hammer?
Time Spinning Witch, no. Time distortion, yes.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is, one, like I had mentioned before, I said there's technically decent ways to play around it. It's still a pretty oppressive deck overall, but my main concern, like I always point out, is at the local level, and I think Time Spinning Witch is one of those things. Making it so your opponent can't play is just something that will just turn people off to games. I still give the story of, at our pre-release for New Dawn Rises, we had a new guy playing Force Will for the first time, and I played Time Distortion during the pre-release, and because of that, he literally said he was never going to play Force of Will now. And so just making it so your opponent can't play, and especially with how efficient Time Spinning Witch does that combined with Mosasaurus, that guy obviously never even saw Mosasaurus being played in that combo. I think it just deters players and hurts the game as a whole at the local level, which is where the game thrives. And then that translates over to its competitive side, which I think it'll still be competitive without just Time Distortion, just not as much. It'll probably only get one in the top 8 or something like that. But at the local level was my main concern, and why I think Time Distortion, because that's also what's keeping Lorite in the field, and Lorite I think should be banned as well.
And before people jump into comments like, wait, Colin just said this, he meant the pre-release for When's the Honest Moon, not New Dawn Rises.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If y'all are done talking about this, let's talk about the playmat, because the playmat was revealed for the GP season.
I'm done.
It looks like it's 5 of the starter deck runes, which that was interesting. I thought it was going to be, I'm going to put this other image up right now, which Japan had posted their GP coming up, and had this picture, which was the poster that's, it was behind you, I took down. That poster for, that black resonator from Original Valhalla that's supposed to be coming up soon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They'll see it already. But anyways, I thought it was going to be that, but it ends up being this. So that was interesting. I was kind of upset. I was sad.
Yeah.
This is okay.
I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of these generic GP mats that are just the starter rulers or different starter decks or whatever they decide to do. That's like just lines in between them.
My giant mouse pad, just the freaking...
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what they've been doing for...
Yeah, I just said I'm not a fan of this trend.
Yeah.
No, it's not forever. They started it back with...
the Lapis starters. The Lapis starters were that season's GP playmat. And then
I feel like that one was cooler looking. Didn't they do something with that one?
It's exactly the way this was, but it was just...
Was it just lines?
Yeah.
It had lines in it?
Yeah, these are lines. These are like... stylized lines, at least. They're not just black lines.
Oh yeah, like instead of going shk, they took their hand and they're
it's like they've never had anything that's like crazy. Like back in Alice Cluster, they just had
where's my isn't my Sylvia mat from a GP?
Go get it and let's look at it.
Probably, but
because there was some that from ARGs.
The only thing about the Sylvia mat is, and I've seen him play it. It's basically just Sylvia's J-Ruler side, and and you have the Cinderella and Alice, I think, or no, the Cinderella and what's their other one?
There's a
championship GP.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they say Grand Prix. So that's something else. Those were for ARGs, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, because mine says
when I was researching old pictures, whenever I look up GPs from like pre 2017, I only ever get the championship logo. I can't find GP 2016 logos.
We didn't play GPs as early on, guys, so we're clueless. But I'm pretty sure there was a Parisian one. No.
The point is, people would like that better than just the star deck rules. Or if you're going to use a star deck, make it so
it was.
I'm not a fan of the lines.
Like, I hope we don't get this like fractured play him out again. He was like, yeah, no. So it's when I saw that black possible play him out, I was like, that's cool. At least they just decided one card across the whole thing rather than like trying to break it up.
Or do something cool like how League of Legends really embraces the like pro players and the community and stuff like that. So like playmat could be like, oh, whatever the Force of Will trophy looks like, and it just shadow outlines of players like looking at it or something like that. Something unique to the championship itself, and maybe it has characters in the background. Like, yeah, you'd have to commission art, but it's super like do simple art. Like I just said, shadows, outlines of people, and you're just drawing the trophy. And it's a cool angled shot or something like that. Would be cool looking, and it's unique, and you can immediately identify it as the champion, the GPs and stuff like that. And I feel like that'd be cooler than just copy pasting rulers with lines in between them, or in this case, runes.
But either way, it'd be cool. So
that's just me, though.
You're gonna say something, Joey?
Oh, yeah, like it would be cooler, but I still don't think it'd be very cool.
Anyways,
it'd be cooler than this.
Yeah.
GP dates should be coming up soon, from the sounds of it. Jeff, when asked about it, did say that they're waiting. Okay, so here's the downside of it, in my opinion. So you remember the original article mentioning GPs and WGBQs going forward. They said they're going to focus on WGBQs, which could be held in stores, and stores would be running them. And then there would be at least 2 GP dates. They're actually official dates. So assuming they're going to stick to that, when asked about GP dates on the stream, he did say, yeah, we're just waiting to hear back from a few more stores before we post the dates. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. We're going to be going to stores at random cities just to do this now.
That kind of make... yeah, no, that's kind of
which is cool. Which is cool. I don't want to come out of complaining. But it's just...
especially if they're...
I forgot.
Especially if they're like legit stores that sell singles for Force 1 stuff. I'd be down for that. It'd be a cool atmosphere. But it's not as cool as going to convention center.
Oh, yeah. But I also understand like with attendance lately, like it makes sense, and they can probably do more of them as opposed to how many they were doing for the convention center thing.
Yeah, but then I'm not going to brush that up again. But
we'll get there.
But it does make me kind of nervous because, like we mentioned before, Jeff had mentioned that, 2 months ago now, during one of his streams, that, GP dates will be here this Friday. And now he's saying, like, we're still waiting to hear back from some stores. That makes me kind of nervous. Like, were there stores that suddenly dropped out and so they had to find new ones and now they're waiting to hear back from like, what's happening to where they felt pretty confident back then, but now they're, like, still waiting to hear back months later, like they haven't heard back from these stores? Like, that makes it kind of, like, Did something happen that stores dropped out, or like what did Force Will? Are they not supporting it financially and stuff as hardcore as they would be, and they're putting more pressure on the local stores for pricing and stuff like that than them providing everything? Like, I don't know. I'd like to know why I feel like I shouldn't take this long. And I swear, right now, if there's a single GP in January, I swear to God, I'm going to be so mad that they're announcing the dates and there's one in January again. Oh my God. I have a plane ticket
to look forward to Colin complaining again in another podcast.
Yeah. Just communicate. That's all like almost every complaint, no matter what facet it's in about willpower rewards, GPC, anything like that. The root of almost every problem is just if they just communicated. Like I genuinely wouldn't care.
What if they like communicated and they were like, "Hey, time spending witch is fine, Laura, it's fine, and distortion of time is fine," but you don't seem very happy with that, Colin. Just I'm
fine with that. I said I'm fine with it. Like my preference, I've always said my preference is time distortion and lore would be banned. But that being said, I've said that this is like a super healthy format, like probably the second or third most healthy the game has been in its existence. So I'm like perfectly fine right now. My point always was like if those two are banned, I think it would make it like perfect. I could be wrong. I'm probably missing some combos or something that Lorite stops or time distortion is preventing from happening or something like that. But in my view, like that would make the game perfect. But as of right now, I'm not complaining like I am with Scheherazade, where I still hold to that. All my complaints were valid and stuff with that. But that's more passive with this stuff with time spinning, which especially now. Mm-hmm. I think we're pretty healthy format right now.
I'm glad you aren't like on the time spinning witch hate as much. I would.
Yeah, honestly, no, I'm pretty. It's more so the local level I'm looking at is my only fear with it because of the style of play it does. I actually like the style of play it does. I've said before, like the first time I saw it play and saw it was locking out stones, and that's how it won essentially. Yeah. I think that's so cool and super unique, and I really like that. I just think probably mainly her passive time wheel production. I think that's the thing that maybe puts it over a bit too much. I think that if you took that away, it'd probably be perfectly fine keeping time distortion and all that. But there's something about the deck that's just like a tad too far. But I like the concept of the deck and everything a lot. I like unique stuff like that.
But we'll go ahead and wrap it up here because we are near time. And if you guys want to hear some more information, say about the GP that happened this weekend, the WGPQ, I should say, you can check out Jeremy's channel over at Roller School because he has 3 people who are usually on his podcast. That's Brandon Bremont and Ryan Miles, who both made top 8. Ryan, who took it, and the head judge is Frank, who's also on that podcast. So it's like probably going to be super informative if you want to go check that out. If you're not already subbed to him, you can check it out too. But that's all we got for tonight. And, actually, something I was thinking about. We haven't done a live stream with the 3 of us in a while. So if you guys want to see that, maybe after the holidays, we'll consider something. You can comment below if you want to hang out with us and just talk. And
those are fun.
Yeah, they were fun. We've done 2. But, let us know. And
we could do it. We could do it one where it's I'll share my screen as I'm like editing something from us. Yeah, we'll continue this on the mini podcast. I have some things I want to say about Keurig to Joey as well. I didn't get to, so we'll continue that on the mini podcast.
And we'll see y'all next time. Bye.